Tanya Woo is making Seattle safer, more inclusive, and culturally vibrant. For Tanya Woo, every conversation is an opportunity to see the world through another lens, and often, finding the path forward is finding the smallest piece of common ground and building from there. It is those philosophies that have been the foundation for Woo's work in economic development in Seattle, where she is known as a central figure in local efforts to improve public safety, support vulnerable residents, and prevent displacement through the redevelopment of a historical building into affordable housing, and the founding of a community watch group that serves as a mutual aid alternative to policing. Her leadership in these efforts earned her widespread respect across the city. Woo's Seattle roots run deep. A fifth-generation Seattle native, Woo is a community advocate, small business owner, historic preservationist, housing builder, and former Seattle City Council member. Deeply rooted in the Chinatown-International District, CID, she is a proud descendant of one of the first Chinese-American families to settle in Seattle in 1887. Growing up in her family's bakery in the CID instilled in her a deep understanding of the challenges faced by immigrant communities and the importance of cultural preservation, safety, and economic opportunity. Woo leads by showing up consistently, humbly, and with purpose. Whether I'm in City Hall, walking the streets of the Chinatown-International District, or sitting with neighbors to hear their stories, I believe in meeting people where they are. My strategy has always been grounded in listening first, collaborating closely with those most impacted, and co-creating solutions that are both bold and practical. Over time, this approach builds trust, and trust is the foundation for any lasting impact, she says. Growing and investing in relationships in the community to have the kind of impact Tanya Woo has had on the city involves fostering meaningful, long-term professional relationships across both grassroots and institutional networks. It takes a deep commitment and consistency, she explains. Relationships grow when you invest time, listen deeply, and follow through. I've built connections by showing up in the same spaces consistently, community meetings, mutual aid walks, and cultural events, while also building bridges with institutional partners who may not always have those grassroots ties. I try to be a translator between worlds, making sure institutional leaders hear from the community directly, and vice versa. Woo understands that to be so passionately involved in community building is not without having to face occasional obstacles or make complex decisions. She shares her approach. I start by centering the voices of those directly affected. I weigh compassion and accountability equally because I've learned we can, and must, have both. I look at the root causes, not just the symptoms, and I ask myself whether the decision will preserve dignity, protect community spaces, and create more equitable access to opportunity. Integrity, transparency, and lived experience shape how I move forward. Leading and learning go hand in hand. As cities evolve and grow, so too must civic leaders. There is always something new to learn, Woo says. She points out that most of her learning happens in real time, on the ground. Weekly mutual aid walks are my classroom. They teach me about resilience, shifting needs, and the impact of policy at the street level. I also learn from elders, other advocates, and small business owners who have navigated challenges for decades. Each person Woo meets, and every conversation she has, offers a different perspective, which she says allows her to adjust her approach accordingly. While Woo says she leads with empathy and patience, she is also honest about boundaries and expectations. In tense moments, I try to listen without defensiveness, reflect back what I've heard, and focus on shared goals rather than positions. It's about finding the common ground that is important to her. Defining the why for Woo, staying accountable for the outcomes she wants, starts with defining the why, making sure the purpose is clear, urgent, and rooted in community priorities. I work with partners to set measurable milestones and ensure we have a feedback loop with those most impacted. Regular check-ins, open communication, and transparent reporting keep me accountable, both to the people I serve and to myself. A lot of Woo's community work involves energizing and aligning teams around shared goals, so she circles back to the why, making sure everyone understands the why behind the work and sees how their role contributes to the bigger picture. In difficult times, she reminds the team of their shared wins and the resilience they have already shown. Equally important, she points out, is celebrating small victories along the way because momentum builds when people feel valued and see progress, even in small steps. While Woo plays a significant role in Seattle, she prioritizes what requires her direct attention and focuses on the issues where her presence or voice can make the biggest difference, especially when it involves advocacy where the community is underrepresented. Everything else, I try to delegate to trusted partners who have the expertise and relationships to carry it forward. Delegation is also a way to grow leadership in others, she says. As someone with extensive experience in community building and successful outcomes, Woo shares that the core traits she believes are essential for ethical and effective leadership are integrity, courage, empathy, and consistency. She explains that integrity means doing the right thing even when it's unpopular. Courage means speaking up, especially when the stakes are high, and empathy ensures that decisions are grounded in care for real people's lives. Consistency, she adds, builds trust. People know I'll keep showing up, not just when it's convenient. Entering the political arena in 2023, Woo ran for Seattle City Council's District 2 seat in a tightly contested race, narrowly losing by just over 400 votes. In January 2024, she was appointed to the at-large position 8 seat on the council. During her tenure, she focused on bridging divides between communities and government, advocating for pragmatic solutions to complex issues such as homelessness, housing affordability, public safety, and economic revitalization. Although she was not elected to retain her seat in the 2024 special election, her time in office left a lasting impact, particularly through her collaborative approach and strong voice for traditionally underrepresented neighborhoods. She is synonymous with Seattle beyond politics. Tanya Woo remains a passionate businesswoman and nonprofit leader. She has worked tirelessly to protect local heritage sites, support small businesses, and foster partnerships between the private sector and community organizations. She is especially committed to ensuring that economic development includes everyone, not just those with power and influence. Her advocacy spans public health, senior services, the environment, and the arts, reflecting her belief that a healthy community is one where everyone has access to safety, dignity, and opportunity. Her aspirations remain centered on giving back to the city that raised her. Whether through policy, business, or grassroots work, she remains dedicated to creating a more inclusive, responsive, and equitable Seattle. When she has free time, Woo enjoys spending time with her family, volunteering for various groups, and performing Chinese cultural dances. Tanya Woo believes that civic engagement begins at the neighborhood level, and that true leadership means listening, showing up, and fighting for those whose voices are often left out of the conversation. Her mission is, and always will be, rooted in her passion for Seattle.